What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about how I plan my weeks as a creative business owner. If you're not doing this already, or if you're trying to start your own creative business or are right in the middle of it, but not planning your weeks well, it can feel really overwhelming with knowing what you have to do, knowing when to get it done. So today I want to kind of share the framework and process I go through planning my weeks that helps me stay on track, know what I need to be doing, but also keep it as simple as possible so it's not taking up a ton of time. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to kind of break this down into 3 parts. First one we're going to focus on is having a long-term focus first. When you're starting out and you're wanting to plan your weeks, you want to be able to have a direction to head within your business. You want to be having some long-term goals, say 6 months to a year down the road. Some questions you want to be asking are, what are your core values you want to stand by and build your business around? What are your top 5 goals for the next 6 months? What do you actually want to accomplish? What's the direction you want to head? What are the milestones you want to hit? And then similar to your core values again, what are the most compelling reasons for you to actually hit those goals? Why do you actually want to do it? What's going to fire you up to get those done? Last 2 questions that are really helpful for answering these, for kind of planning out your 6 months, are what are the top 3 tasks or actions that you need to focus on consistently that are going to actually be driving the results over the course of that time. One last question that you can ask yourself that's really helpful is, where would your life be at if you stayed consistent for the next 6 months? This is just a really, really powerful picture to help you stay motivated and allow you to actually figure out what your life could be like in 6 months if you start planning your weeks, if you start following your goals, if you actually start taking action on what you need to. Spend some time putting that down on paper and making sure you know where you want to head in the long run, because then we're going to work our way backwards and go to weeks. Now that you have an idea of where you want to head in the next 6 months to a year, we'll start working our way backwards. So break that down into 3 months. What do you need to get done? And then break that down into each month. What do you need to get done? Now we'll head into our weeks. So the way I like to start planning my weeks first, there's something intentional about putting it down on paper rather than writing it down digitally. But don't worry, we'll put it out on digital after the fact. But I really encourage you to put it down on paper first when you're coming up with what you need to get done. First thing you want to put at the very top is your monthly goals. You want to make sure your weeks are staying on track to hit your monthly goals, and so on and so on. So put down your top 3 goals for the month. Next, right below that, you're going to be putting your weekly goals. What do you want to accomplish this week? At the end of the week, what do you want to say you have done? Again, stick with 3, that if you got those 3 things done beyond anything else, it's going to be a successful week. You want these to be at the top priority of your list because these are going to be the big drivers that actually grow your business. So once we have our goals down, we're going to be moving into a couple of questions. The first thing you're going to be answering is what you can't change. The first thing we're going to be answering is what you can't change. These are things like different meetings, shoot days, events, discovery calls, anything like that is already planned, that can't be changed, that you can't rearrange out of your schedule. You have to put those down. The second question we're going to go into is, what are you committed to getting done? So these are kind of the non-negotiables, not things that you're kind of, oh, if I get that done, it's cool. If I don't, no worries. These are, what am I actually committing to? These are where your weekly goals are going to lie first, and then from there you can expand further down. So for example, if I wanted to film a YouTube video, I'm going to be putting in film a YouTube video. Say filming a YouTube video isn't actually on my weekly goals, but it's just something I want to get done. I have to get done every single week. That's going to go down in my committed section. So the last question we're going to do as well is a want to list. What do you want to do? So after you've done all the things that you have to do, the things that you're committed to do, if you still have time open in your week, what do you want to accomplish within that time frame? This could be going out with some friends, maybe editing that spec shoot that you had that's not necessarily a priority, but something you want to get done. Maybe it can be researching on a new editing style that you want to check out. It's not necessarily a contributing factor to growing the business directly, but it can be helpful and it's something you want to focus on. So that can go in the want to section. Something I also like to do if I have kind of just small tasks here and there, something that can be done in 5 to 10 minutes, I like to make a little to-do list section right on the side of all these questions. Just simple things that take no more than 10 minutes to do, just so they're on paper and out of my head. So that's gonna be it for the 1-page planner. It's honestly really simple, but it helps you just get everything that you need to get done on paper really quick. And then we're gonna take this paper and go over to our calendar on our computer so that we can time block everything, have a really clear schedule, and know what we're doing this week. So first things first, we're gonna go in and put in what we can't change first. These are the highest priority things. These are things that literally can't change, that are non-negotiable. So put those in your calendars first. Once those are in, we're gonna be moving on to the committed section. From the committed list, you wanna be focusing on what's gonna be the hardest tasks first to do, or what's gonna be the highest priority task to do first. And you're gonna be putting those first in your schedule. If you're more productive, if you find yourself more productive in the morning, put those in first. Do the hardest thing first. If you find yourself having more energy at night, put those in later in the day when you feel more productive. Put those in at the time you feel most focused, because those are the most important things to get done. So that's what we want to be focusing on. This is where it becomes really important about knowing yourself and figuring out what works best for you, and what might work for me might not work for you, and vice versa. Something to think about here that you want to be focusing on as you're putting these things in your calendar is there's different processes for each task that you may have to do. For example, I have to film this YouTube video this week. Now I'm gonna just film a YouTube video on my paper. However, it doesn't look like that in reality. When I'm putting that filming my YouTube video on my calendar, I'm gonna be putting in my pre-production time of writing down the shot list, the scripts, the things I wanna say, doing a little bit of research. I'm gonna be putting in the actual hours it takes to film, then edit, and then upload. So there'll probably be 4 different sections across my calendar that coincide with just filming my YouTube video. So just keep this in mind when you're moving things from your piece of paper onto your calendar, and think about the process it'll actually take, so that we're making sure we're leaving enough time and enough room to actually get things done. So once you're done with the committed section, you can go ahead and move on and just fill out the gaps throughout the week on things that you want to get done, things that you want to do. If it doesn't all fit for that week, that's no big deal, because these are things that we just want to do rather than we're actually committing to. And like I said, we want to focus on the tasks that are actually driving the business forward. So by this time now, you should have a full calendar knowing what time you're going to be doing things. And all you have to do is just look back at this daily and know what you're doing every single day. It's a very simple process. I've been using this for probably the last 2 or 3 years, and I've really enjoyed it. And I'll change the structure slightly depending on the month or depending on how busy I am with the business. But I just want to give a simple framework for you guys to use, try out for yourselves, and change it and adjust it to what works best for you, because each person is individual in the way they like to plan things and feel productive. Always remember to keep your schedule a little bit flexible. We don't want to be super rigid, because that can be disappointing if we're just having an off day, or if another event comes up that you have to do or something like that, and it kind of throws off the whole week. So let me know what you think of this method for planning your week in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.